Hey, I'm Rob Gantt with the Goose Creek Gazette and the Berkeley Independent. I'm here today in Summerville with my teammate Roger Lee of the Summerville Journal Scene. This is another edition of Football Talk. Special thanks to our sponsor, Tony Pope State Farm. Call Tony Pope State Farm for your car, home, life, and small business insurance. Welcome. We're like I said, we're talking some football. Let's see, Berkeley, Dorchester County, flip a coin. We're gonna start on your side.
All right.
Go ahead, Dorchester County. What you got?
All right. This week we had Summerville hosting West Ashley. We talked about that last week. The Wildcats are kind of one of the surprise teams this year, having a real strong season. Summerville had to earn a win, came out of there with a 3-0 win. And that's following a week where both those teams, I think they combined to score 113 points the Friday before.
I was thinking it'd be a little more points scored in that game.
Yeah, it was all about the defenses and also the penalties and mistakes. But you know, Summerville had a really strong defensive effort. Linebacker Nick Chambers had the outright play of the game, picked off the pass on West Ashley's side of the field, returned it inside the 10-yard line, lost some of that yardage on a penalty for, I guess, probably a block in the back or something like that on the return. But then that allowed Gage Lewis to kick the game-winning field goal. It was a pretty sure shot for him. He's one of a couple of kickers that Summerville has that are doing real well. Braden Gregory is a little banged up, so he didn't play that game.
I actually heard that on the news. I was thinking, I wonder why Braden didn't kick that. When was that? Third quarter, second quarter, first quarter, fourth quarter?
That was, I believe, the third quarter, or if not, early fourth quarter, and then really West Ashley didn't allow much yardage at all in the fourth quarter, but Summerville got just enough and ran the clock. West Ashley had their chances to win, but Summerville broke up a pass. I can't remember the kid's name, Michael something, broke up a pass in the end zone, and just some other really big defensive stops, some good pressure in the backfield. Hats off to the Greenway defense, really.
It seems like he's got them dialed in on that side of the ball. And who does Summerville play this week?
Summerville plays Ashley Ridge, which is coming off a loss to Berkeley, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Yep. Ashley Ridge is trying to get it going this year. They're 0-3, 2 losses in the region. But Shane Fiddler, isn't it? Not. I don't know why I always want to say Fed. Yeah. He's optimistic. He says, they've played a tough schedule.
True.
Fort Dorchester, West Ashley, Berkeley. I mean, how does it? Who else? Unless they're going to put like Burns or Dorman or somebody like that in week 3. Yeah, Gaffney. So it's tough for them. But the highlight for them was Connor Black had a 15-yard touchdown run against Berkeley.
That helped them avoid a shutout. And there's some positives. They've got positives. They've got a couple of running backs that are real promising this week. Cordell Gaston had more carries than he's been having. He's a bigger back. Their other back is a real fast guy. I think those two are going to be a good tandem moving forward. They're excited about maybe they can get their running game going. The quarterback Connor Black, is moving the stick some. He can also move it with his legs. And punter Will McCune, I think that's somebody we're going to be hearing a lot of in the last half of the season because he's averaging like 40 yards a punt. He hasn't missed a PAT kick yet. I don't know how many touchbacks he has, but he's got a strong leg. Hasn't really had the opportunity to kick any field goals, but if they get in a tight game, I don't know if it'll be tight against Summerville or not, but if they get into a tight game, he's somebody good to have in your corner. Definitely. Well, before you get over, are you done with that one?
I'm done with that one, yeah.
Okay, before you get over to Fort Dorchester and who they play next, we're going to go back to my side of the fence over in Berkeley County. Had to get you. You're getting on a roll there, man.
Well, I was hoping. I just want to get my part out of the way so I can leave. You can do the rest of it all. I'd like to go back to sleep.
Well, you'll get that chance here soon. Like I said, we're switching gears, going over to Berkeley County for a little bit. Stratford travels over to Berkeley. That's the Region 7 5A game. As you mentioned, Berkeley is coming off a win over Ashley Ridge. Really just kind of about what you would expect. Solomon Butler, their Western Carolina committed receiver, he got loose. Had a 67-yard touchdown catch, a 70-yard touchdown catch, like a shovel pass. And then he caught another one for 35 yards for a touchdown. A couple of guys ran
ran in the ball. Malachi Oliver and Luke Gadsden scored touchdowns on the ground. And the Berkeley ended up going up 28-0, and won that game 35-7. The Stratford-Berkeley matchup here, it's huge for both of them. I mean, the loser, you might be on the outside looking in at the playoff spot. So each team feels like going in, they need to win. Stratford, what a bounce back by them. They had struggled in that loss to Cane Bay, but they came back strong and ended up beating Wando 28-21 in overtime. Jaden Austin had 100 yards rushing for the Knights, scored in overtime, and then Wando got down to 2, and the Stratford defense stopped them on 3 tries from the 2. So nice job by them. Stratford's probably playing with a little bit of confidence, and they're going to need it when they go over to Monk's Corner. I'm trying to think of how I see this game going. Berkeley has a lot of great athletes that if you don't keep them caged up the whole game, they're going to get out. I don't know if I can make a pick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Lab.
Okay. I like Lab's always good.
All right, stay tuned. The Lab, picking Stratford and Berkeley. That's Sammy. You ready to pick? It's time to pick Berkeley and Stratford. Stratford is the red ball. Berkeley is the blue ball. Who's going to win the game? Let us see. Ready, go. Bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it. Oh, did he bring the blue ball? He did. Oh, I guess he's going with the Stags. Best dog in the universe, by the way. Okay. Moving forward, another Region 7 5A game. Goose Creek hosts Wando. The Gators are coming off a really nice win over Cane Bay, 34-6. Great job by the offense. Drew Moore, the quarterback, threw 3 touchdown passes. He threw 1 to Malachi Taylor for 67 yards on the 3rd play of the game. He also hit Kion Smith for 2 touchdowns. The other touchdowns were scored by Dimitri Simmons. Really nice running back they have over there. He had 88 yards rushing, scored on a 54-yard touchdown run. And the other touchdown for the Gators was scored, and I'm stalling here, Marion Scott, I'm going to say. 29-yard burst right up the middle, finished off the Cobras. Cane Bay's only touchdown in that game was a run by Javion Johnson, their quarterback. This Goose Creek Wando game is very similar to Stratford Berkeley. I mean, I feel like Goose Creek is the better team. I feel like they have the better collection of athletes. I feel like the Gators will win. If they win, they'll be well on their way to wrapping up their 2nd region championship in a row. They would need Berkeley to beat Stratford, but if that happens, then Goose Creek would have successfully defended its region championship, even though Stratford awaits down the road. Goose Creek Wando, I'm going to pick, since Sammy's probably a little tired now, I'm going to go with the Gators to pick up the win here over Wando. 2 other games, and I'm going to kick it back over to you. Hanahan hosts Academic Magnet. Cane Bay hosts Stall. Both of those games will be scores will be results that Hanahan and Cane Bay can just pick. I mean, I think Hanahan rolls on homecoming 62-0, 63-0, something to that effect. Cane Bay probably does the same thing to Stall. That game is actually on TV, so if you want to see Cane Bay score a lot of points, tune in to Friday Night Rivals. Nothing against Stall. They're trying hard. They don't have enough players. So I have some games left, but I want to get you back in. We want to go back onto the other side of the border there, Dorchester County. I know you were waiting to talk about Fort Dorchester. Tell us about the Patriots and what they have coming up.
Okay, well, the Patriots are coming off a 70-0 win over Stall. But, the Patriots have shown they're one of the better teams in the area. Backup quarterback Aaron Wellborn completed 10 passes for 156 yards and 3 touchdowns, so that's good. He's a senior. It's good to see him get some snaps in, and, you hope that nobody, especially a quarterback, ever gets injured, but, he looked pretty good running that offense, Friday night. They had 2 kicks returned for a touchdown, and linebacker Otis Mack recovered 2 fumbles and scored touchdowns on both. I think he also had a sack in that game.
He did. I saw those stats.
So, Fort has West Ashley coming up. That's going to be a tougher contest for them. It's like you said, Stall just doesn't have the numbers, and they're not clicking yet. They've played some really tough teams. They've played Fort. They played Summerville, and I forget who they opened up against, but they haven't had an easy schedule.
Now they're 5A football. You know, it's tough.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough players.
But you know, West Ashley is looking to bounce back from that loss to Summerville. I don't think they're going to put a real scare into the Patriots, but they've got the weapons. You know, they're playing at West Ashley. The West Ashley quarterback to me looked really good. Number 8, they play 2 quarterbacks, number 7 and number 8. To me, number 8 kind of stole the show there for a while. I mean, you know, he was, you know, if they put pressure on him, he'd break a couple of tackles and make a big play. He made some key passes. You know, I think that you know, they've got a couple of receivers that Fort Dorchester has a great secondary, but you know, when you have a good receiver, they can always make a play. So that game might be closer than some think, considering, you know, they didn't score any points this week.
I would expect, I would expect West Ashley to come up with some wrinkles and try to do some different things, maybe that they haven't shown on film.
Right.
You know, you have to break out all the stops when you're playing a team like Fort Dorchester, especially when you're aiming for a playoff spot. You know, if they lost to Summerville, they probably really need to win this football game.
Right.
So, I mean, I would look for West Ashley to really get after it on defense, play as hard as they can, and you know, break out all the stops on offense.
Yeah, I think they are, and that's dangerous when you've got a team at home. You know, if they're back against the wall, sometimes that makes it hard.
That's right. And you, I don't know, is that a West Ashley shirt right there? A little purple.
I guess it probably could be.
I don't know, is that blue or purple? I think
a little purplish.
I think you're pulling against the Patriots. It looks like.
I got nah.
Well, look, we have a pick though. Do you want to pick? Sammy the Lab. We can go to the lab for a pick, or you can choose. Or we can
we don't want to take any light away from Sammy. Let's see what Sammy has to say.
Sammy is well rested. He's ready to make this pick. All right, we're going to the lab for this pick. I think it's the white ball is West Ashley. I think the red ball is Fort Dorchester. Sammy, take it away. All right, Sammy, you ready to pick again? I need you to watch me. Listen, we're picking Fort Dorchester and West Ashley. Fort Dorchester is the red ball. West Ashley is the white ball. Pick us a winner. Ready, buddy? Go. Bring us a winner. Come on, Sam. Bring us a winner. Come on. Who'd you get?
About the only other thing we got going on the Dorchester County side of things is Pinewood Prep is coming off a loss to Augusta Christian. They're traveling to Lawrence Manning. That's going to be another tough one for the Panthers.
Definitely.
You know, the Panthers are just so young. They've got a first-year head coach rather. He's been with the program for a while and been a head coach elsewhere. But you know, you never know when a team might just hit its stride and start kind of being more competitive with some of these better Skeeza teams. So, you know, I'm sure Panther fans are hoping that maybe that'll be this week.
Well, you know, you just kind of hope your team is getting better as the season goes on. Kids, you know, younger guys are getting some confidence, and maybe they're playing well. This is the end. This is the time of year where, you know, you need to be playing your best. And so if Pinewood's playing its best and Lawrence Manning helps them a little bit, maybe Pinewood could be in this game. Pinewood has had a couple of close games this year to show they've made some improvements.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would look for them to, you know, put up a good fight. You know, they'll need some help to do it, but hey, that's why they play the game.
Yeah, and they did look good in their one win. I forget where they went down.
John Paul
the second. Yep.
John Paul showed up by himself and lost. I don't know why I keep telling that joke, and I don't think it ever makes it on the video either.
Oh well.
David cuts it out. Okay.
I'll see what I can do for you this week.
All right. Go ahead. What else? Anything else?
That's about it. Yeah. What else do you have?
Well, I've got a few more. I got a few more games I want to mention. I got 3 actually. Timberland, the Wolves travel over to Phillip Simmons. The Wolves are coming off a 32-6 win over Lake Marion. And one of the most astounding things about that, when you looked at this, I looked at the stat sheet that Coach Wright sent me. How many tackles you think Omari Jenkins made?
12.
Think again. Double it.
Really?
Omari Jenkins was in on a combination. He's like a strong safety linebacker type for the Wolves. Sophomore, actually going to be. I think he's going to be a real good player before it's all over. He had 25 tackles.
Wow.
And that's counting solos and assists and sacks. And so anyway, the Timberland defense, they got guys like that at every level, and so they stymied Lake Marion. I think Lake Marion had about 150 30 yards of offense. They didn't do a whole lot. Offensively, you know, for the Wolves, it was, I know Roman Watford had a touchdown. And, you know, there was another young man that scored 3 touchdowns. Was it Roman? Yes, Roman ran for 2 touchdowns, returned a punt for a touchdown. And that was pretty much all the offense they needed. Timberland going over to Phillip Simmons here. I think Timberland's a better football team than Phillip Simmons. It's a huge region game. The winner, you know, increases his chances of possibly winning the region championship here in the next couple of weeks. Cross and another huge game after, you know, crushing Charleston Math and Science this past Friday. They host Well Branch. The Trojans really need to win this thing if they want to guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs. Well Branch is coming off a 21 win over Baptist Hill, which had beaten Cross 26-20 in triple overtime 2 weeks ago. In the Charleston Math and Science game for the Trojans, 5 different players scored. I know Caleb Wright had 2 touchdown runs, a touchdown catch. Santori Jones scored. Tyleek Green scored a touchdown. I know Antoine Hoskins scored a touchdown. Caden White, also the quarterback, he scored a touchdown. So they were clicking on all cylinders, and defensively, you know, they had too many horses for Charleston Math and Science, and Cross got back into the win column. Good win for them. You know, and I'm just gonna tell you, like, this week, I'm definitely pulling for Cross this week. Again, in the Well Branch game, I don't know if you know, but Coach Wright, Sean Wright, he lost his dad recently, and so I hope those kids really just kind of put it in their heart and give it everything they got to go out there and whip Well Branch. So go Trojans. That's who I'm taking in that game. I think they'll play inspired football, and I think they're going to win the game. And last but not least, really it's a huge game. St. John's Christian, unbeaten St. John's Christian is 7-0. They host Thomas Hayward. Who was Thomas Hayward? You ever heard the saying, to be the man, you got to beat the man?
Okay, yep.
Thomas Hayward is the man. They've won 2 state championships in a row, and they're rolling into Monk's Corner to take on St. John's Christian, which, by the way, if you've never been to a St. John's Christian game, the atmosphere is pretty good. Small place, a lot of energy in the building. The fans are really involved. Should be an excellent football game. St. John's Christian, I'll tell you, is coming off a win at Calhoun Academy. They won 35-24. I mean, it was the usual suspects. You know, the quarterback, Nate Ryan Bookert, had a big game. Corey Moreau had a big game. I know he had a touchdown catch. You know, Jaden Bradley led the defense in tackles, which he seems to do. He's actually one of our players of the week. Jaden Bradley put on his offensive hat too and scored a couple of touchdowns. He's one of our players of the week. We'll get to in just 1 second. That pretty much does it. I know that'll be, if you're neutral and you're looking for a game to go watch, that would be a great place to go watch a game. Thomas Hayward is very good. It should be a knockdown drag out to the very end, which St. John's Christian has proven they don't mind playing a tight game and, you know, making it interesting at the end. They've won several games in the last moments. That pretty much does it for me. I do want to again thank our sponsor, Tony Pope State Farm. Make sure you call Tony Pope State Farm for car, home, life, and small business insurance. Roger, before we finish up, let's get our players of the week out there. That voting has begun. It's on our websites, ourgazette.com, Berkeley, IND.com, and journalscene.com. Yeah, you can go there. You can click on the Player of the Week link under the sports link and vote for your Player of the Week. And if you register and you vote, you can be entered into a drawing to win a $500 gift card. I don't know about you. I don't know about you off-screen cameraman and the bosses over there, but we could use $500. So if you enter and you win, you can win $500. Okay. Tell me your players of the week, and then I'll give mine.
We've already mentioned both of my players of the week. I went in defensive this week, and it seemed to fit right in line with what happened on Friday night. Otis Mack, linebacker for Fort Dorchester, had the 2 defensive scores, bunch of tackles, team leader, and then Nick Chambers, who had the pick against West Ashley that set up the game-winning field goal. He's also a linebacker. Those were my nominees.
All right, my 3 should be easy. to pick a winner in this one. Solomon Butler, the receiver for Berkeley, he had 2 touchdown catches, went over 100 yards receiving. Really just kind of a man among boys. You'll see that on Friday night, in my opinion. Also, St. John's Christian Jaden Bradley, just mentioned him, was a two-way threat for the Cavaliers. Had 2 touchdowns, made 13 tackles, leads the team in tackles on the season. And last but not least, Goose Creek quarterback Drew Moore. He threw 3 touchdown passes to lead the way in a 34-6 victory over Cane Bay. So those are our Player of the Week candidates. Get to those websites, register, vote, try to win that money, share it with me, call me anytime. I'm up for a steak, golf outing, whatever. Again, one more time, we'll thank our sponsor, Tony Pope State Farm. Call Tony Pope State Farm for car, home, life, and small business insurance. Take us away, Dave.